So we are leaving this Airbnb. It was a cute Airbnb. Now we are going to explore. Wow, I didn't expect to see the Eiffel Tower. Robert's gonna try the Greek cola.
Greek cola.
Greek cola. It tastes like cherry cola.
Oh. Yeah, it kind of tastes like flat cherry Coke. The bubbles get me.
Oh. Okay, so Robert and I opened these chips yesterday, but they're called Asian chips, and they taste like ramen noodles.
And we got oregano chips, and this is where like actually.
Oh, they were so
We'll
good.
be purchasing more oregano chips.
Mm-hmm.
Stopped at a little travel plaza on our drive, and we're gonna get the fast food hamburger. Try that out from nowhere else other than Good Burger or Goodies Burger House. That's it, not Good Burger. That's a TV show, I think, or a movie. It's Chow. And I also decided to go to hell. Chow's got some lemon and green. No idea what-
plant.
It's Asian the plant. Maybe it's like, I don't know. We can't taste any difference. And then this one tastes like a Red Bull. We'll save this. Did some research. This is Coca-Cola specially formulated for diabetic people. Funny thing that we purchased, but we wanted to try a new color. We thought it was going to be like mint or something, because I recognized that was going to mean lemon, and especially with the yellow, like the context clues. But we couldn't figure this one out. I was like, oh hell, why not get it both?
It's not minty.
No, it tastes like normal Coke, honestly. Maybe like a bit off. Like Coke that was next to Dr. Pepper for too long or something, but
Yeah. Very excited about all the windy roads. Babsy Wabsy.
oh yeah. And not being in a total pile of garbage to enjoy them. Not a fast car, not a sporty car, but like
It will do.
at least it has a decent chassis. The landscape here is just ridiculous. That I'm in neutral and revving the engine because I was trying to accelerate. That's hilarious. Early on, archaeological site. Gosh dang, is Greece pretty? I did not realize. Jill and I are both sitting here like, we haven't been here very long, but we're already trying to plan a new trip back. This is the old cistern, still doing its thing. I don't know if I drink that water though. Jill said she wouldn't.
Wait. Hello.
So a little bit of geography lessons. This is where the Stoa was. And then I'll let you know about the rest whenever I learn what it is. See? This was the altar in which you could do your praying to the god Hera. And it was located within a geometric temple, apparently. You're learning with us here, guys. And again, I cannot stress this enough, but the aesthetic is just off the charts. The aesthetic. So per this information here, the old temple over there with the altar, that actually was built in the 9th to 8th century BC, whereas the new temple was built in the 6th century BC and then destroyed in the 2nd century BC by the Romans, because they didn't like it, I guess.
Pesky Romans.
Pesky Romans. They seem like pretty good guys sometimes, and then they go ahead and do something like this and just throw everything into a tizzy.
We learned
Hadrian.
about Hadrian. He's a good Roman.
Yeah, he seems like a cool guy. He was progressing society. And this is the West Court. This is where they would shoot some hoops, probably, I imagine. Definitely not something of higher standing in society. Well, the water is so blue and clear and nice. Look at it. Also, a little bonus fun fact for you. This body of water here is the Gulf of Corinth. It's the northern bit, so we're on the peninsula of Greece right now, and it's the northern bit facing the mainland of Europe. Jellyfish!
Take some jelly, take the fish, jellyfish. The water is right here.
We decided to walk our way up to that little lighthouse up there, and let me tell you, the views are pretty good. So some fun facts about this lighthouse. Originally opened in 1897. They turned it off during World War II because of scary stuff. It was oil lit until 1982, when they then served it with electricity and put absolute juicer of a light bulb up there. It's a good view of the entire complex. Absolutely majestic. Once again, we're out here just enjoying the aesthetic, and also there's these weird little mailbox looking church things everywhere. Not sure what they mean. Maybe they're like crosses, maybe somebody died here. We don't know. Also, this is our rental car. Let's give you a nice look. It's a BMW 116i. It feels very slow. It's ridiculously quiet. It's got the small wheels, which I love because I've already bumped a curb with them once trying to parallel park. Yeah, it's a fine car. Probably one of the better rental cars that I've had. Nice and comfy. Weirdly optioned with the cloth seats.
No backup camera.
And no backup. We had to make a stop due to a little history lesson that we'll all learn here. Through the peninsula of Greece, very long ago during the Peloponnesian era, around 500 BC-ish, they started this project to dig a canal through the peninsula so they could get their ships from one side to the other. It never ended up working. They always failed because it was so difficult to do. Well, in the 1800s, they finally got the technology to do it, and they did, and we just drove over it, and you'll see a picture here of it shortly. That's crazy. It's huge. It's super deep. They can drive big boy boats through here, and this is the peninsula. Archaeological site of it's gonna be a long trip. Looks freaking sick though. 99% sure I've been here in Assassin's Creed.
Alright, so I'm not quite sure where we're at in Greece right now, but...
Oh, also the last archaeological site that we went to was totally lying on Google Maps because it said it was open till 8 and it actually closed at like 3. So we couldn't go. So now I did a little bit more research on the next stop, and they are open till 5, and we have time to make it there today before it closes, thankfully.
Yes. Anyways, what I was saying is, I don't know exactly where we're at, but they have hundreds and hundreds of orange trees everywhere. I think they're cutie trees.
20 kilometers.
Imagines?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they also have tons of olive trees. Fun fact, I looked it up. Olive trees are harvested from October to January.
We made it in the sanctuary of Asclepios. And it's got a museum, so we're gonna start there. This was an absolutely massive hostel / hotel thing. It had 160 rooms. And when I say this, I'm talking from there all the way to the rocks back there, all the way around. And to help you realize, there's a little diagram. So these areas in the middles were courtyards. And then there's some aerial views. How cool is that? Here's the whole town. That's the theater. Cannot wait to go there. That's the hotel that we were just in. And this is the rest. And there's a description of everything. And there it is. So starting with the Greek baths. Very old, about 2300, as the kids would say. This at one point was a banquet hall. This was their stadium, and it was actually a natural depression in the ground that they just built stands into the sides of, and they were like, ha ha ha, engineering. So this one's interesting. It was a sanctuary to the Egyptian gods. They had Greek and Egyptian gods here at the same time, and it was built during 2nd century Roman times, so see like maybe the Hadrian era.
So Robert is explaining to me all of like when everything was built. Oh my. There we go. When everything was built. And it's kind of crazy how the Parthenon is still like pretty much all there and standing, and then all of this is just in ruins.
Yeah, because this is all newer.
Yeah, it's all newer. Then it's just...
This was a old bath complex. And it was right next to the fountains over there. And in this town, thing, village, whatever you'd call it. They did not have a running water system. They just used the fountains over here, and that's how everybody got their water. So this was the Propolia, which was the entrance to the sanctuary of Acropolis, or whatever the city was. And if you look over there, we're not going to go, but that's an old 580 church. But this was this grandiose thing at one point to welcome you into the city, which looked like this. Pretty cool. We're doing a bit of running to make sure we actually have enough time to see everything before it closes, because we only have 20 more minutes. The mountains in the backdrop, I don't know if you guys have been noticing through this entire video, but I'm sure it's going to keep happening. It does add something to it. You know, we've seen lots of ruins in places like Cyprus and things, but like, it does go a little bit better with those mountains in the backdrop. Columns. And chill. We made it just in the nick of time, and there's no one inside of it to ruin my video. Isn't that amazing, everybody? You'll have to forgive me, but this is the Myonesian Bridge. There's an A and a B. We drove up the hill to see where the A was. We couldn't really find it. I mean, we knew where it was, but like we had to walk pretty far. And I mean, this is B. Not really super duper interesting, but it is cool. And it's all, yes, it is almost also dark. But yeah, let me get back to you on how old it is. So it is Bronze Age, which means that it's somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 years old. But a little fun piece of trivia about this bridge, which we're going to demonstrate today, is this is, and it's not 100% confirmed, there's a couple other contenders I believe, but it's believed that this is the oldest crossable bridge in existence. And I say that as I am walking across a 5,000-year-old bridge. How fun. Look at that castle. Wow. On the quest to get dinner, as recommended to us. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's an 845 AMG. Okay.
Cheers.
This is what y'all got. She's excited. There was a bit of a pork mix-up. This is called the Bizzarronti, I don't know what it's called, castle. It was built during the Byzantine times and was once a hotel for a while. And you can actually go to it. But Jill and I have decided that it's not really worth the time commitment to get out there. It takes like an hour. You can't go until 9 o'clock in the morning. And right now it's really cold. 7. Yeah, it's currently 7.
Hi.
So, they also have some cannons. Bastards painted all over them.
This is kind of like the crest from the one in Florida.
It is kind of like the one from Florida. See Florida. Those Spaniards leaving their stuff behind. What a bunch of geese. So maybe they look a little Spanish more than Greece or Greek. Who knows? Or maybe they all got it from the Byzantines back in the day. Either way, pretty morning. It's so cold. Apparently yesterday has been the coldest day of the year in Greece. So it's actually a colder temperature than when we were skiing in Andorra. I walked all this way just so we could get a better view of the castle. You're welcome. It's so cold. So very cold. For our next stop, we're going to go up to the fort and walk around and check that out. It wasn't on our original plan, but it looks cool enough to where we could justify driving up there. And 10 minutes later, we're up at the fort. We got great views of the little town. Got mountains. We got a sunrise. We got the Shell. We got the BMW. We got the fort.
So we opened up the lemon Coke, and
it tastes like Coke with a lemon in it.
Yeah, but like the aftertaste is weird, so you get the weird chemically taste. So I'd rather just have one with actual real lemon. Yeah.
We're at the Acropolis of Tyrus, I believe. So, Jill's excited. It's cold. It's 33 degrees. There we go. Now that the sun's not blowing out the camera lens, you can see a little bit of the fort here. A fort, Acropolis, city. I don't know much about it yet. I'm hoping that we'll learn. Chell and I are going to try to find more little audio guides to listen to so we can become more informed about these places, because we were doing that in Athens and learning so much stuff. It was great. We decided to go to the Upper Citadel first, which, I mean, what a cool entrance. So you can see it spinning very quickly there. The shutter of the camera is like, even though it's high, still not showing it spinning that fast. But we've been hearing this windmill thinking it's a helicopter this whole time. But we're pretty sure this little guy is just breaking the speed of sound over there. But also, there's a fort on top of that hill too. How cool is that? With that towering mountain in the background, covered in snow. There's a little map of the palace. Honestly, it's a bit in ruins. I don't know much about it, other than there's a really big retaining wall and they put a lot of effort into like keeping that wall still alive so this part wouldn't collapse down to the earth. But I can't really tell you anything else about it so far. So I did the research myself, did a little Wikipedia digging, okay? So we got this site. It's built 7,000 years ago. It reached its peak approximately 3,100 years ago. And at its peak, it had 15,000 people living here. The myth was that Hercules was born here. It was a huge walled city. It was one of the most important cities in the Mayanesan world. And now that I know all of that, how old this place is and everything that I'm looking at, it has become much cooler, even though it's still the same pile of rocks. So I hope you enjoyed our learning experience. And Chell says, well, that makes sense now that it's a UNESCO site. Yeah, that's how we ended up here, is because it's a UNESCO site. I always try to visit as many of those as I can, because even though the sites maybe aren't necessarily that cool to look at, the history behind them is, and it just hits different when you're standing there. Also confirmed, windmill stopped, noise stopped. Funny. Again, no information signs anywhere, so we don't really know what's going on. We're going to try really hard to find another like audio guide or something for the next one, but the place is really cool.
Alright, now we're going to the Tomb of Tyrannus, right?
I don't know if you're saying it right, but yes.
Tyrynus.
Continue for
Tyrannus?
1 kilometer.
Tyrannus. They're basically their big cemetery is our next stop.
Cool.
I opened this gate myself, so this feels a little suspicious, but I think we'll be okay. And after a super long walk, we have made it to the vaulted tomb of Tyrannus. How? Tyrannus? Tyrannus? Who knows? Greek city. I was gonna say man. It's not a man. It's a place. Now, admittedly, I'm getting a little bit of PTSD from Assassin's Creed right now because I am on edge about snakes, but I don't really think that's going to be a problem here today.
So
This is insane. Whoa. Hang on, try this with maybe a little bit more light. There you go. Again, no backstory. I have no idea anything about this other than it's a tomb. And some actual bastards came in here and decided to graffiti this place, which is just crazy to me. It's a tomb. It's somebody's grave. Jill, what is it that you just found here?
olives.
Olives?
Olives. Look,
Olives.
Zoom into there. Look how big they are.
Olives.
That's the olives.
So Jill tried one. And tell me about your olive.
It's a wine grape. Look at it. I'm pretty sure that's a wine grape.
So, that one was probably an olive tree. I don't know. That looks like an olive tree. Maybe it's just a really weird type of olive. I don't know. We'll get back to you. So Chell tries to drive another manual. It went very well. And you missed the entire thing because my phone's camera keeps having a whole moment. So whenever I record, it just does this. Where it just freezes. Absolutely useless. iPhone 16. Garbage. Taking it back to Apple to get a new phone because this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it does keep doing it. Like
It's just constant camera problems no matter what. And like the whole reason why I get new phones is to get new cameras. It's silly. Yeah. But anyway,
I like driving modern cars. It's better than the shitty Saturn.
So from our last stop, we found out about an archaeological museum back in the town that we were in. So we parked in the same parking lot that we did this morning, and we're going to go check out that museum because it's rated really good and it has a ton of reviews. So it's the Archaeological Museum of Naphtalo, and this lady cannot stay awake to save her life. Inside the museum now. That is a 7,000-year-old skeleton. Learned a little fun fact. The reason why the pots all start showing up around 5,000 years ago is because it's believed that that's the first period in human history where we actually had extra food. And it wasn't just go hunt and get what you get for the day. Here's some fun. These are all seals from around 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. So much cool history here. This goes way too deep. Look at these figurines. Okay, something I found interesting in this one. These are ivory poles for a wooden chest. And they're from 3,500 years ago. So much cool stuff. All of this is from 3,500 years ago in this cabinet. This duck was found at Tyrannus, where we were this morning. How cool. All the gold and glass in this one is so cool. It's all from such a long time ago. This is far and away the oldest suit of armor I've ever seen. I've never seen a suit of armor made out of bronze either. I didn't even know that was a thing that people actually did other than video games for your starting character's armor. We have now made the trek to the ancient necropolis of Medea. Similar period as everything else we've gone over today so far. Bronze Age stuff. Well, a lot of gunshots happening right now, which is the least European thing I've ever experienced in Europe. But we've made it, the long walk up the hill to the East Gate. I've got my safety orange lady with me, just in case. It seems like it's hunting season here. Though
the fact that we did see people hunting yesterday.
Yes, but also this little ditch-looking thing here is actually the basement rooms of the house, and it's really the only surviving thing to this day. Shell? These views conjure something to mind. What would it be? Wrong answer. It's the aesthetic. So much like the Parthenon, this used to be a giant palace on top of a hill. Obviously not as well preserved as the Parthenon, but the building of the Parthenon was closer today than the building of this was to the day that the Parthenon was built. So it stands to reason that it kind of disappeared. So this side is where the west gate to the Acropolis is. But more importantly, check out this view. And, fun fact, that little speck down there, yes, that one, is the castle from this morning. And where the archaeological museum and everything was. I can't find the first site that we went to earlier today. I've been looking, but I don't see it anywhere. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. Or maybe it's obscured by this hill. So behind us here are the city walls. And we're down below, looking up at all of the buildings in the Acropolis and everything. And there used to be a large structure there called the Middle Heldrick. This is a fried cheese. Oh wait, we went to a restaurant. We're at a restaurant. We're the only ones here because it's the off season and we're in a touristy area because we couldn't find anywhere else to eat. But okay, but for real this time we're actually here. We have some 13th century houses that people built here that were subsequently knocked down by an earthquake. This is not the Acropolis yet. We will get to the Acropolis momentarily. Also, that guy. Coming back for that guy. Chell has a presentation she'd like to present to you. Chell?
So at the archaeologist site that we kept hearing the gunshots, they are hunting boars, which we did know about, but they hunt birds when it's cold.
Yeah, we don't really know what type of birds, but he said they're small and delicious and there's way too many of them. So.
And he was like, oh, because my expression was like inquisitive, but he took it as like, oh no, it's okay. It's okay. We hunt them to eat that. Like, there's so many of them. And I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine.
And then he told us not to stop for gypsies on the side of the road, which I thought was particularly funny. Anyway, this looks really grandiose, actually.
Yeah.
Well, see you guys later. Correction to that thing that I said earlier about this being houses. It's definitely not that. This is the Lion Thelios tomb. And you'll see a map. The wall and the Acropolis. Built around 3,300 years ago. This was a house for the oil merchants once upon a time. And we have tombs. The tomb. There are 3 tombs here. This one was discovered by the locals and pillaged back in the olden days. It has big fancy double doors. Not to be confused with Dumbledores. This is the most echoey place I've ever been in my entire life. That thump, 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 that was me stepping on a small rock. Now, listen to this. It's actually crazy.
This dude is moving.
It's the Lion's Gate and all my potential future friends, but most importantly, the Lion's Gate and Chell. It's the old granary and the grave circle. So adjacent to the grave circle, we have 2 stone houses. That one, under the covering, is called the Ramp House. The stone circle's just cool to me, though. If you look right there, you can see the back of the relief of the lions when we came in. And over here, just next to it, this used to be storerooms, 1 through 4, as well as a bunch of residences. So this used to be the main entrance. I believe a faithful recreation of the pillar stands, things. Come on over here, looks cool. So here we are, on top of the palace. It's a lovely palace, the best palace. Other countries try to have palaces like this one, but they do not, because we have the best. They destroyed our palace, and then they built worship for their places, for their false gods of Athena and Hera for 500 years or so, and then they disappeared, and now we're back to being the best palace again. Great work, everybody. Great views. We did a little bit of research, just a little fun fact for all y'all. So a lot of this building here was built in around 1300 BC. Parts of it were used all the way back to like 5000 BC. But an interesting thing, the Jewish religion didn't actually start until 200 years after people were living here. So there's your fun fact. Hope it's Friday when you're watching this, because that'd be weird to get a fun fact on any other day of the week other than Friday. This was the Artisans' Quarter. So it used to be a 2-story building where the artisans lived in their quarters. Building Delta. They ran out of uses for the buildings, I think, and just started naming them letters. I really want to climb that mountain, but I couldn't find any trails to do it. It's hunting season, so it feels like maybe a bad idea. Back in the end of the 13th century, they built this little guy called the Northeast Extension, and it was the final entrance to the Citadel, Acropolis place. unfortunately, this is the end of the road for us on our journey today. But maybe someday they'll remove this blasted gate and I can take a cool look at the Citadel that goes very far away, apparently. It's the old northern gate. Used to have wooden doors. Look at this guy. Hello, sir. Entrance with no people. A rare sight, apparently. Just a short stop down the road. We're at the Treasury. So it's actually a tomb, not a treasury. They call it the Treasury. It's got the secondary room in this one. So we used all trails to find a hike. My attendance classes are not very tinted. We used all trails to find a hike, and it turns out it wasn't really a hike, but it went to a cool castle. So we're here now at the cool castle, but it's not a hike. Oh, it's cold though. Oh my goodness. The absolute insanity of this castle is just off the charts because we are also on top of a mountain. This was built in around the year 1200 per all trails. I don't know if that's actually true or not. And there's a little crybaby down there next to a little crybaby car, a Jimny. And behind the Jimny there is a Peugeot version of the Renault Logan that we rented in Ecuador. It's our first actual day in Ecuador now, and we're gonna go to the Cotopaxi National Park.
I want that Gemini. That specific color.
Too bad, you have to wait 25 more years. Very, very pretty here. It's a shame there aren't more hiking trails. There's not really that many when I'm searching for them. Unless I'm just looking in the wrong place, which I'm about to do some research on. So it turns out that we're a bunch of geese, and it's not the castle behind us. It's actually the trail to the castle in front of us. We did it, boys! We're at the castle! Look at these views! Dang, it's chill. The other castle from up here looks super cool too. So this, my friends, is the castle that is built in the year 1200. So we hiked up to an 800-year-old castle on the side of a cliff that's been abandoned in Greece to look at the awe-inspiring views of the mountains. I would say that this is quite possibly considered as a fun activity. I mean, look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at it. That's crazy.
Probably one of the coolest views we've ever had the privilege to walk up to, because if you zoom in over there, those big things, those are cargo ships. Isn't that crazy? And then you come over here. Hello, hi. You come over here and you get like the olive and probably orange vineyards. It's crazy.
And the sunset, and this really cool cloud thing going on here where it's like a perfect straight line until it gets over to this side, and then it just zooms into the ground.
Wow.
I just noticed something quite funny. Over across the little bit of ocean there, that little thing that's jutting out, that was the very first archaeological site that we went to once we left Athens. And just a little while later, we're back to the car. It's actually right as soon as my watch said mile 2.
Alright. You can't really tell, but there is a more prominent mountain behind this really big mountain right here. Like, this is crazy. In Greece of all places. It's fantastic. What do you think about it?
The aesthetic? Now we're going in a tunnel.
Camera reported ahead.
And there's a speed camera reported ahead.
Oh. Okay, there we go.
The lovely Chell and I have now embarked. Oh, sorry, we drove for a while, and now we're in a very different part of Greece, and we've embarked to get dinner. This is probably for the carnival, but there's all these characters and things floating around out here in the square. That one's a little racist, but, you know, what do I know? We got the frog We got the palm trees apparently. Cool fountain. A lot going on here. We found the restaurant. We got the spicy cheese dip in the bread.
I thought it was gonna be warm. It's cold.
Pork. Beef. It's very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Very.
drinkable dessert.
It's drinkable dessert. It's very good.
Good morning, everybody. We just got some. Oh gosh, we just got some. Good morning, everybody. We just got some pastries from the old 14 Cafe in the gas station. Actually, looked really nice. Everybody inside was smoking. I feel like my hair smells like cigarettes now. Chell will be the czar who shows you our pastries as we eat them.
I was the only woman in
The
there.
only one.
Ooh. So this is Robert's chicken. Wow, that is beautiful.
I said, tell me what's good. And he said, he pointed to that one first. So I said, so it's great. I love it.
Okay. Here, my love. Try it.
I'm going to turn off the safety system in the car. They yell at me for nothing. Well, I just got bread. But it tastes kind of like a Hot Pocket, but like it's the one that somebody made home fresh for you.
Alright, I got something pastry with cream, he said. Mine looks really dope. It has cinnamon on it. It's really messy, so I'm going to leave it in the bag.
In 600 meters at the roundabout, take the first exit.
Yep. Tastes like a homemade toaster strudel. That's freaking good.
So we're here in the car, driving to Sparta. Robert's being a cheapo, not taking the toll roads because he said, look, there's a windy mountain pass on the way. That sounds fun. It's raining, but oh my god, is this like, just look at this. This is crazy. Grace, I didn't know you had this.
And this is the windy mountain road.
And this is the range where the Spartan children used to learn to train by killing wolves, and there was the cave and the cliff that they threw the babies off of and the traders of Sparta off of. It's all here. And archaeological excavations actually corroborated this and found remains of people in the cave. Maybe not so much on the cliff, but how interesting of a place, isn't it? And if it was dry, we could be going real fast and having a real good time. But it's not, so we're gonna go real slow and still have a real good time. I mean, excuse the power lines. I actually stopped and got out because this is ridiculous. And like, we just came down this mountain over here in a little BMW that's actually just a Mini Cooper in a tuxedo. How cool is this? Hard to tell, but that's Mount Tigris just up there, buried in snow.
I'm currently not awake, but Robert is. We're passing a school that has some bopping music going on, because it is, yeah, I don't know, there's music.
The Acropolis and city of ancient Sparta. Heard not particularly exciting, because there's not much left, but it seems cool just to be here. So here, the bricks up front, the remains of a Roman stoa when Sparta wasn't really Sparta anymore. And then in the back, there's a circular building that there are many theories as to what was on top of it, but the main, most accepted one is a giant statue of Zeus and Aphrodite. And also look at the mountains in the background. I knew that Mount Tigris, I think that's how you say it, was that really popular one in all the books and things. And like, in movies. But there it is. You can't even see the top of it. And it's bigger than I thought it would be. Like, I could have Googled it and looked at how tall it was, but seeing it in real life and realizing that it's actually sticking up about 7,000 feet higher than where we're standing is crazy. And in an effort to continue to keep ruining the Spartan archaeological site, the Byzantines built a church here, as they were known to do everywhere in this country apparently when they got here. It's just like, hey, you want 700 churches? No, but you're getting 800.
Wow, I can't believe they built 900 churches.
I know, those 1,000 churches that they put up sure were crazy. The olive trees here look so very old compared to the rest of them that we've seen. This was the Temple of Athena, built in 800 BC, renovated in 600 BC, flourishing in 500 BC, and then eventually becoming abandoned in 400 BC, where they then built houses on top of it.
So Caesar was alive when this was built.
But there was a theater here since 500 BC. This just isn't that one. This is just the old Roman one that replaced it after the kingdom of Sparta kind of went away. So this actually would have been better preserved if the Byzantines hadn't come here and taken all of the marble to build buildings down there. What is this?
Athens?
No, this is Sparta! Ah! We may have to come back here at some point based on all this work that they're doing. Maybe there's more here. More cool hidden Spartan treats for us to come see in the future. What do you think, Jill? If they unearthed some more, would you come back?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Agora. The Agora, sorry. Yeah, I would love to see them continue excavating and come back here someday to see more of Sparta. There's also this very cool statue of Leonidas in front of a sports stadium. It says words, but we don't know how to read them. We are at the Sparta Archaeological Museum. Parking was a bit confusing. I found a really nice street parking spot, like right in front of it, and then Chell and I just sat there and second-guessed ourselves because we don't really know what the rules are. So then I found a parking lot to go park in, so we parked there instead, and then had to walk a little bit. These are all old Spartan mosaics. Well, not that one, but they're quite cool. It's cool figurines made out of bronze. And we walked into this room and I just thought, oh, what a relief. Chell's doing a jigsaw puzzle of one of the reliefs, otherwise she probably would have laughed at my joke. And now we're in the statue room. The statue room, as we call it. Dang, they knew about the Statue of Liberty before the Statue of Liberty was a thing. That's crazy. That one's really cool. Wow. We're at our next site. Say it again. Really? He's like a bird. Say it again. Go meow. The archaeological site of Mystaris. I don't know. You already know it's going to be good because it's UNESCO, so a little bit of history. Bless you. Bless you. So an 800-year-old castle that people actually managed to live in all the way until 1953 before they were actually eventually all kicked out. So this, up here on the hillside, is a monastery. And if you heard in the background, There was a Greek child that said meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. This man, he's got a mask on. Hey, buddy. I'm taking you home with me. Come here. Come here. Get over here. Oh, he's a scratcher. Maybe we don't want to take him home.
So is a lot.
Sharpen those murder mittens, buddy. So, because we're not actually at like the palace at the top yet, right? Like this is just the city. This is actually one of the roads, but during the Byzantine times, unlike the Roman times, they didn't have two main streets and a nice grid system going on. They had one royal way with little alleys and things spurring off of it due to the topography. But what's also interesting is their streets never really accommodated carts, so or anything with wheels. Cool place though. Inside of the Church of Saint Sophia. Headed up to the castle now. Dun 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 dun. I'm gonna pet the cat. I'm gonna do it. Who's your good boy? I think it's safe to say that we're getting close. We're a full 2,000 or 1,700 feet above Sparta down there. Pretty cool. Listen, I doubt whoever lived here was much of a king, but man, with a view like this, you sure feel like one. All right, probably the last little view from the top of the castle, and then we're gonna head down to the car all the way down there. Long walk. Some bonus church action on the way down. We found some more. It's pretty cool. We just pulled up to a new metropolis. This is the building I was just showing you guys. It's pretty cool. This staircase is so cool. It's a little pyramid. This is something we haven't been seeing a lot of. It's all remnants of clothing from the 1400s. Also, we're in the little museum, because there was a little museum. That's not clothes, that's hair. Interesting. Starting a hike to some waterfalls. We will update at the waterfalls. It's like 2 miles, so nothing crazy. Just kidding, it's this way, not the way that we were going. Now, these are some views. It's crazy how mountainous and pretty Greece is. I'm still not over this yet. A liability waiver. Path not completely safe from falling rocks. Enter with your responsibility. Chell, will you be my responsibility? Well, there's a little baby waterfall, but these ones apparently don't count. These aren't real waterfalls. Look how blue that water is, though. And how blue that shell is. Wow. Here's our first waterfall. And a really pretty blue lake. Chell said she'd go for a swim, but she just ate 20 minutes ago, so she's afraid of stomach cramps. That's totally the reason why. Not because it would be frigid, but
It's not like it's 50 degrees out.
yeah. If it was 50 degrees out, you'd be on fire, Chell. They use Celsius here, not Fahrenheit. Come on, get with the times. We've reached the end of the path in this direction. There's more in the other direction, though. So we're gonna go back up kind of to where we started and go the other way. There we go. Here's a bit of a better view of what I was just trying to show you. Pretty cool. Next waterfall. All right, a little update. Chell and I decided to abandon ship. The waterfalls are cool and whatever, but like there's a bunch of garbage everywhere. There's these sketchy bridges to get across the river, and they're like all broken and falling apart, and the rocks are all super slippery. And we both decided that like hanging out here is just asking to get hurt. Like, look at this thing. This thing, it's got like 30 seconds left in its life. Like, it's squishy when you step on it. Like, we're good. Not today. This one, look, that one's rotted. We have another one of these bridges to cross too. That's the worst part, to get back. So I don't even know. Maybe this was the last one. That one's all smashed and falling apart. So yeah, that was yeah, we're good. And our next contestant for Sketchy Bridge of the Year award, I'm recording to see if anything happens. This one. The other one was honestly sketchier. We don't actually know that there were any more bridges left either, but like, I find it hard to believe that there are. Back to the car. Chell and I not super impressed by this hike. So
The ones in Puerto Rico are better.
yes, if you want waterfalls, go to Puerto Rico. We're Australia. So we realized we had enough time, but not quite enough time to go in because it closes early, to go to this castle. So that's what we did. We're just here to walk around this cool old castle. I don't know much about it. Heck, I couldn't even tell you the name. It's on that sign over there, but I can barely read it. Yeah, I'll give you more when I find it. There's the name. I'm not going to pretend to know how to say it. I learned a little bit about this castle. So it was about the same era as our last castle that we visited, about 800 years ago, more or less. And then around 500 years ago, or 600 years ago, it had a significant renovation. And let me look at that. Look at that. It's a Citroën 2CV, or as the French would say, this is a deux chevaux. For some reason on this trip, we've been playing the did I actually lock the car game a lot, and I don't like it. But the castle's really cool. Look at this slug. This is my hand for reference. That's crazy. That is a huge slug. We did confirm it is closed. And it's closed all day tomorrow. But we weren't going to come back anyway. We've got bigger fish to fry. The aesthetic here, totally off the charts. Just ridiculous. And in the other direction, it just keeps going. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Good view of the sunset. Pretty nice. We found every camper in the entire world.
From Germany.
They're all from Germany, other than there's an Austrian and an Estonian. We're actually so back right now, guys. We're so back with the pita bread and the spicy dip. This is the one thing I don't think I've ever seen in the United States from a Greek restaurant, and they need to bring it over. She's so excited, she's gonna cry, ladies and gentlemen. He actually ordered way too much food, ladies and gentlemen. Way too much food. It's cold outside. Chell opened the balcony, tried to freeze me out. Good morning, everybody. We decided to leave a little bit late today because we could get free breakfast if we just delayed our day by 15 minutes. So that's what we're doing. Dirty car. Very dirty. That's our new quest, apparently, to get the car as dirty as possible. Look at that! It's a Fiat Panda! I mean, look at this. Well, there's our first look at the fortress. Quite cool. Quite cool. We still got the ocean over there. Honestly, 10 out of 10. We hear these planes, but we can't find them. We keep looking. Maybe it's windmills again, Chell. Maybe that's it. King of the castle, king of the castle. Uh-huh. We found him. Cheat Charles, bite a cheat chore. So, when was somebody gonna tell us that Greece had flamingos? I didn't know about this. I didn't know about this at all. Also, really funny, Google Maps actually wants us to drive straight through there. So I don't think that's gonna happen. But, on the plus side, it brought us to the flamingos. Now check this part out. I'm sorry if this is really shaky. They're everywhere. All those little white specks you see everywhere. Those are all flamingos, and they go forward too, and everything. It's crazy. There's so many flamingos. What? Who? Why? They're doing a bunch of construction, so we actually have no idea. There's a lot of water too. If we're going to be able to make it to the tomb, but we're gonna try our darndest. Gosh darned it! Look at this. Wow. We're not sure if we were supposed to, but we made it to the tomb. The gate was open, so I see no reason why we couldn't. Yeah, they kept saying the cave was closed, and we were like, does tomb and cave mean the same thing, or is there just a cave I don't know about? But here it is, the tomb. You're seeing it live. It's pretty cool. It's Mycenaean, so that means, you know, roughly 5,000 to 7,000 years old, or at least that's my belief of the timetable. It's a little tricky.
What they're talking
So we
about.
found the cave.
We think.
Oh, that's definitely the cave. But also there's a man herding sheep down there. You can't see the sheep anymore, but you can see the guys. Also, tell me the new iPhone zoom isn't kind of crazy, though. Look at Chell. One last view before we leave. We have arrived at the historic site of Olympia, which is where the very, very beginning of the Olympic Games happened. We had another stop to make in between here and there, and we decided, no, we'll go here first, and if we have enough time, then we'll go back to the other stop, because this seemed too cool to miss. Boy, howdy, we have options. We go this way.
Signet ring. Depiction of runners.
The bronze cauldrons. A bunch of cool figures. Shell.
This is Zeus.
Some more stuff. We're going back for Zeus now. There he is. This is an inscription of all the athletes from the Olympic Games in the 4th BC. They used to have it every year. They made it 1,100 years straight. 1,169 years straight. And then a Roman emperor came in and just ruined it for the rest of us. And it took another 1,500 years to bring it back.
Okay, these things are called bronze strigils, S-T-R-I-G-I-L-E, and they were used to scrape off all the dirt and oil from the athletes.
It turns out that the Olympics were a real big boys club back then. If a woman was so much as seen watching the Olympics, they would take her and throw her off Mount Typhoon, which is pretty harsh. So Chell probably should not be in this room right now. Whole Nike wall, which is the god of victory. Let's see what Chell has to say.
It's a Acropolis.
It was found in the Athenian Acropolis, is what she meant to say. Mosaic depicting the Olympic Games. I learned a little bit more about the shields. They used to do a thing called the race in armor where you had to wear greaves, a helmet, and carry one of those big heavy shields and run the 800-meter dash with it. The view outside of the museum, again, just everywhere in Greece, just panoramic and picturesque. We have arrived in the archaeological site, and I must say, this actually was the most recent place I went to in the video game, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, before leaving for this trip. So, very, very fun. This is more of what I imagined all of Greece to look like. We've been deep in Mycenaean land, not Peloponnese land. Child took my jacket. Look at her. The disrespect. Very cool though. Much appreciated. They actually have 4 museums here. They have one, well, they have the archaeological site, then the ancient games, then the modern games, then the archaeological museum all together. And we might not make it to all of them, but we're gonna try our hardest. This didn't exist. Pieces of it were taken to Berlin, and the German government gave it back, and they're like, let's put it back together. And that's what they did. This place is quite cool. I'm learning many things about the Olympics that I never thought that I would learn. A giant fountain. This used to be a temple back in the good old days. Here, you want to learn more? Ready? 3, 2, 1, pause. Fun little story about these statue bases here. So every time they caught an athlete cheating or breaking the rules and they fined them for it, they would use the money collectively to save up and build statues of Zeus. And the plural of Zeus is Zane. They had 16 Zanes. That's a lot of money from cheating on bronze statues of Zeus.
John?
Welcome to the Olympic Stadium. So how they did their running races, this is a little fun bit of trivia. You have this marble starting line here, okay? And on the other end, they'd have some sort of post or other piece of marble. And this is approximately 200 meters. And based on the distance of the race, you'd just keep running back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They did all the way up to a 5K here. So I think the longest was like a 27 time back and forth or something like that I read in the museum. Funny though. Chell ran out of data. She used too much data because she was playing Pokemon Go the entire time. So this was the site of a stoa dedicated for Ptolemy, who was the Egyptian pharaoh dynasty in the 200 BC era. The Egyptians were not allowed to compete in the game, so I'm not really sure why that would be here, but they did it. This house was built for Emperor Nero to stay in prior to the 67 AD Olympic Games, and then it was renovated in the 3rd to 5th century AD. So it was basically one of the last things built here before they stopped doing the games. They built plenty of stuff after the games ended, during the Roman times and all that. But yeah, it looks very different because of all the bricks and stuff that don't exist on all the marble-based buildings. How's that the Olympics, everybody? Wow! Very cool. This was a statue of victory. Hopefully here in the Archaeological Museum you'll see him. At this spot, this is the old, oh, and you can see the outline much better in this picture. This is the building for the Olympic Council to meet, and where everybody, the judges and athletes, all took their sacred oath before competing in the games. The judges competed, apparently. Unfortunately, we cannot get up on the Temple of Zeus because they have it roped off there. And on their second set of stairs here, also roped off. Very sad. Rip. I want a refund. By the way, all of these archaeological sites are like comically cheap. They're all like $2 to $6 per person. And this one's $6 for 4 museums. Like, get out of here. There's a place. Very many columns. So the Colonnum building is actually a accommodation place for the officials and such. So then during Roman times, they converted the middle bit into a swimming pool, those silly geese. So this was a guest house, and it had mosaics and a bunch of other fun stuff, including a in-wall heating system fed by a furnace. And in the year around 500, it was converted into a wine factory, and they used the furnace to melt the glass to make the glass bottles. How cool. And then they're doing work on that one. I think that's period correct. Not sure what this building is yet, but gosh darn, it looks cool, doesn't it? I have the answer to the question. You can read that, or you can let me tell you, and I will tell you that it has a bunch of areas for undressing, doing the oil things, baths, or dusting, and then in the middle here where we're currently standing, this was a courtyard where philosophers and other people would give their lectures, or you could practice your jumping, wrestling, or boxing. Pretty neat. Chell, let's see your jump. Come on. I did it with you.
It's my turn.
We have absolutely no idea what this is, but it was important enough for them to build a thing on top of it. Very interesting, the way that they've got it rigged up.
Oh, I see. So there's statues of people. You see, so that's a statue of something.
Oh? So we're in the museum now. This is a bunch of Neolithic stuff. That was all found here as well. Period figurines from the altar of Zeus. This one was made in Cyprus. That's pretty cool. All the arrow tips. And the cool shields and the helmet. This might be one of the coolest museums that we've been to so far. And look at the helmet display. A dolphin. And Zeus, the big statue. These were all in the
These are the bathrooms at the Olympic Park museum type thing. They look like Harry Potter bathrooms.
inside the little museum now. Look at all these lion heads. Why you always lying? So, in an effort to save some time, effort, and money, I forced Google Maps to take us a not toll road to the toll road, because the toll road goes like down and around and adds a bunch of distance, and the tolls are expensive. But the road that we're on now is interesting.
What are the views?
Amazing, but we apparently have 2 hours on this road.
Oh my.
Good news, it turned into a real road, but we stopped to get some cool pictures.
So, on the road that Robert has found.
Oh, it turned out to be very nice, by the way.
Yes. We have realized that we've gone through lots of little tiny towns, and they're all sheep herders, which is really cool. There's some sheepies down there. You can't see them. Robert's having fun on the windy road.
3 cylinders of fury, baby. There was a cat.
Oh. He was doing his herding duties. You be nice. Alright, so in this tiny town, we've passed 2 butchers, and they're both full-on butchers, like
Dead pigs hanging from the door frame,
like,
type of butchers.
full-on dead cow, full face and fur and everything. Like, this is a hole-in-the-wall town, and I love it. Look how pretty. So what Robert and I have learned is that avoiding toll roads is good.
Oh, Chell learned this. I already knew this.
Oh, I didn't know.
You get to see all the cool stuff in the countryside. I'm sure it takes a little longer, except usually on these windy back roads you end up cutting off a bunch of time anyway. The distance ends up being shorter, and you save a bunch of money. So you have a better time, you don't add that much time, you save gas by driving a shorter distance, and you save money on the tolls. It's a win-win-win. And then once it gets dark or whatever and you can't sightsee anymore, that's when you just take the toll roads and just beeline it the rest of the way there, which is our plan for today.
Woo!
Also, we're going to Athens. I don't know if I mentioned. If I did, I'll cut this out.
Like, look how cute. That little tiny town. And the views are banging.
Look at this. Look at it. It's ridiculous. And the switchbacky road that led up here, it's all crazy.
It's pretty crazy that this is Greece.
Yeah, like we're looking at pine trees and snow flying down a windy mountain road that looks straight out of Montana. Like, what is this? This is crazy.
Also, Robert had a great point. Greece people, Grecians.
Build Greeks.
Greeks!
Build more hiking trails.
Yeah, because you would attract a whole new different demographic of people, and your country is beautiful, so cool. I'm sorry, it's not very steady, but it's hard to be very steady in a car.
Especially one being driven at maybe a slightly above average pace. Different road.
No. I hope you enjoy my sound effects. Because me in the passenger seat, I keep getting, seat belted? That sunset is good too.
John coaxed me into getting pizza in Greece. It looks really good though.
Mm-hmm.
And Chell spilled water everywhere. After what feels like not enough time, we're back here at the Athens airport to start the next leg of our trip to Crete. So have fun watching that video.